Yeah, hold on. Hold on. When I get to you, you will still correct it. But there was an order first before there was a judgment. Okay. Let's not get it upside down. There was an order first before there was a judgment. And in both order and judgment scenario, the Federal High Court came first. And the police here is saying that they will obey, that the force headquarters, the force legal department has advised that they should go with that of Federal High Court because it takes precedence. That's one. Now, the second one is this. Who has the job of enforcing court judgment? I think this question will go to Barrister Jamala. Barrister Jamala, you may have your say. And also, I would want you to clarify on the precedence issue and also what the job of the police in this case is.
Jama, before I start, I would like to say, let me react to the statement.
Yes, please go ahead. It is the
statement that is bringing the questions that you're asking. First, let me react. It is unfortunate that Nigeria thrives in an atmosphere of aberration. That is what Nigeria, in fact, Nigerian institutions have been so ridiculed, reduced to the extent that it does appear I can sit down in my house and give some command to institutions of government without going through the lawyer, enabling them to function in the capacity. And that is what, sadly, our politicians in court have reduced the system of governance to. Now, let's look at the statement released by SP Ringe Ikoko, PPRO of Rivers State. She was right in mentioning the Federal High Court's first order of 19th July. She was also right in mentioning the Federal High Court judgment of 30th July. But she was wrong. Okay, she was, in fact, she did it intentionally. Absolutely. Refused to also make allusion to the order of River State High Court as delivered on the 5th, sorry, let me correct it, it's not on the 6th. Okay. As delivered on the 5th day of September 2023. Now, 2024. Yes. Ordinarily, if the police were not biased in the circumstances, the SP Ringi Koko would have brought these two judgments before the public. Now, based on the advice from the legal department, we have been told to take the one, assuming without considering that the one of the order made ex parte on the 19th of July takes precedence over a valid, conclusive judgment of court. If the first legal department has asked them to obey, then would have said, okay, thank God you have brought before the general public the two equities. And now you are saying the first in time in equity takes precedence over the other. But the statement released by SP Ringi Okoko brought it to bear the biased mind of the Nigerian police force. Okay. Now let's go into those orders. Yes. My colleague has already stated the order in Lifu's ruling. I have the certified true copy of the judgment of court made on the 30th day of September. But my Lord Nifu, I have gone through the entire pages of that ruling. There is no way in that judgment where they said police prevent the conduct of an election. My Lord is very aware. I wouldn't know whatever has influenced his decision, but he's very aware that there are provisions in the Electoral Act, in the Constitution, that prevent oust, even Section 60 of the River State Independent Electoral Commission Act, law, prevents the court from holding an election. Now, let's go to Section 15 of the Electoral Act. Mandates RISEC for the relating with state commissions. Section 15 of the Electoral Act, mandate, is a mandatory order. Now, if you look at Section 4 of the Nigerian Police Act, talks about protection of lives and properties at all times. At all times. 5th of October, inclusive. Yes, they have come to say, we have been asked not to provide. Choma, I ask you, if on the 5th of October, the police is saying, the Federal High Court asked them not to provide security, armed robbers pervade the street of River State, will the police sit idle and say, by an order of court, we have been told not to provide security in River State? That is why I said...
Did the police say... No, hold on, no, you're misinterpreting this. Yes.
I am not
no, hold on.
Security for the election.
Exactly. Hold on. It is an entirely different scenario you've painted.
It is not,
Barrister Jamala, hold on.
The election will be conducted in all the nooks and crannies of River State.
Let me quote you. You said, if on that said day, armed robbers, invade River State, will the police say they will not provide security in River State? It is one thing not to participate in the election, and another thing to provide security for the entirety of River State. Let's not mix it up. These are two different scenarios.
Can you educate me now?
These are two different scenarios.
Educate me so that I will draw you. I will take you to where I'm going.
How does armed robbery attack?
I'm coming now.
Relates
I'm coming, Choma,
to police not engaging armed robbers.
I'm coming. Assuming we are conducting an election in ANT, and we have queues. Some persons, miscreants, came willing the publics who are there queuing to vote. What is that? Is that not a robbery attack?
How is it a robbery attack? You said waylaying, harassing. It's different from robbing. Choose your language. You're a lawyer. I expect you to use the right language.
That I did not. Okay.
Use the right language.
They came with weapons. You know, most times you don't waylay. You don't rob. Most times with just bare hands. I wanted to read the general context, not just speak my words. If I use waylay alone, does not mean that you should use that to capitalize. Assuming they come now.
Because if you go to court, it's still the words that
if you read out of context, you can read the context in the whole, or you can read it selectively out of context.
In this instance, use the right context.
You are using. Let's not debate
about it. Use the right context.
The truth is, Choma, it is clear. It is clear, and it is, like I said, it is ridiculous. It is shameful. Sometimes when I see Irengo Koko, I said a refined, gentle woman placed in the responsibility of doing the absurd. That's why you see sometimes you see I'm just taking the command.
I understand you, Barrister Jamal. Are you saying the police should disobey court judgment?
What about the judgment? Wait, I'm coming now. The police cannot be selective in the judgment that they obey.
Absolutely.
They will not cherry pick.
All right.
That is one.
According to law.
Yes, according to
lawyer. Which judgment takes precedence?
The judgment of 5th September by the River State High Court take precedent of the other interlocutory made on the 19th of July. It takes precedence.
Now, if I may ask you again,
the two judgments at par, the two judgments at par is that of the one made on the 30th and that made on the 5th. Now, if you are coming to say the equity is first in time, then we can now fall back to the 5th. You cannot compare a final decision of court.
Was the 5th a judgment or a ruling?
It's a judgment of court.
Not a ruling.
Yes, it was a judgment of court initiated by way of originating summons. It was held just one day and judgment delivered.
Held just one day.
Yes, same with that of Lifu.
If I may ask you, Barrister Jamala, before I move over to Emi Feraha, if I may ask you, does the State High Court have the jurisdiction or the powers to give order to a federal institution?
A State High Court has all the powers to give orders to a federal institution that interferes with state activities. Get it right. What it has to do with the interference of a state activity, just like I can enforce my fundamental human right in the State High Court, barring the Nigerian police from arresting me, barring DSS from arresting me. They are federal institutions. But once they have interfered with the state activities, ordinarily the Federal High Court in the circumstance, do you know what they deceive the gullible? They use INEC, they use Nigerian police, they use DSS, and said by the inclusion of these three names, the Federal High Court has
the voter register in question. Is it not a document of a federal institution?
It has not even imposed jurisdiction on the federal court.
Is it not a document?
Legal right.
Is it not the document of a federal institution?
It is a government of the federal institution.
That answers my question.
It has not answered. Let me.
It has actually.
No, if it has answered, I will still explain.
Okay, go on.
It is a document of the Electoral Act.
All right, Emi, what do you have to say to this story?
First, I will begin from the foundation that has every other actions, because we operate a constitutional democracy. If you go to the ground norm, section 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended talks about the supremacy of the Constitution and has binding force on all institutions, persons, and individuals that resides within the territory of Nigeria. The Constitution that I am talking about created the police, created INEC, created whatever. In fact, research today is drawing light from the provisions of the Constitution. So every actions that we are to measure, sometimes we need to compare it to the written laws for us to have a better standing, because we are here to enhance our democracy and not to destroy it. We are talking about conduct of election in Rivers State. And by my little understanding of law, when you talk about order, you talk about judgment. Yes, there are two legal concepts, but they are distinct in nature. Order is just an interim instruction that requires a party to carry out a specific action. It's an interim. A judgment is a finality after consideration given to matter of both sides, and decision will come up. What happened in Rivers State, from Rivers State High Court, it was an order. It was an order. It was never a judgment. The only judgment we had, is the judgment that emanates from the Federal High Court. That is the judgment that we have, that emanates from the Federal High Court. Now, we are talking about submitting yourself to the rule of the law. The court has given an order barring the police never to participate. And when we talk about election, it is very clear in our Electoral Act 2022. Section 9 of that Electoral Act mandates INEC to maintain a voter register. And if you read further, the law also mandates INEC to continue to update the voters register we are even referencing now. Is voter register of 2022 to 2020 that was used in conduct of 2023 general elections. And by practice of law that we've seen in the Nigeria context in terms of elections, after every election, once you clock the age of 18, you are permitted by law to write to INEC that you want to be captured. INEC will consider your applications and all that, and you will be captured. By then, you will now become a qualified electorate, the one who is permitted to cast ballot whenever there is an election. So, by 2022 to 2023, there are people who have clocked the age of 18, and those persons may have even applied to INEC, or even for identity. So people may have applied. That is why we talk about updated voters register. And the court simply say, don't give Rivers State this document in the conduct of that proposed local government elections. And it is expected that being an institution that is constituted under the laws of the Federal Republic, that agency or institution need to submit to that order or the judgment as emanated from the Federal High Court. That is what the police is even telling you here, that we have been mandated based on the court judgment. We have been refrained from participating in this election. And INEC have also said, based on this court judgment, we have been refrained from delivering this voters register to Rivers State electoral body. Right? Now, what does the Rivers State is this? Wait, the voter register that he said he has collected in 2023, and the same man, when people were calling for an election in Rivers State, he said there is no plan for an election. That was the initial statement. That the RISEC has not been funded to carry out any activity in regard of an election in Rivers State. That was the first statement. When you have access to a document or you have something in your possession, if you are accused or there is opprobrium with regard to that matter, what you simply do is, please, I have this document already. So people will be aware and be informed that you have it, but you didn't state so. And INEC, who is mandated to maintain and keep the voter register, said, yes, you applied, but we never officially, as required by law, issue you that voters register. So if you